Hello, hello, testing, testing. Good, good. All right, that was. I didn't have my mic set up right. But yes, we are back. Welcome back to another episode of Mind and Body. Thank you, Dilemma Jason, for following while we were offline. That is appreciated. Followers help a lot. But other than that, time to undeafen and begin. And yes, it's the same song playing twice because the only version of that song I could find is a 2-loop of it, so. Well, it's a really good song anyway. So what do we mind? Hello, hello, are we all ready to begin?
Can I get
Yes, sir.
can I get a rewind of what happened after I left last time?
Oh, it wasn't too much. Everyone was just, all the characters were settling down for the night.
I tried to return Valdis's coin. He didn't
Yes.
want it back.
Yes, there was that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, real quick, we seem to be inside some kind of white void, at least for me. Is that the same for everyone else? Or...
Oh, that's
No,
because... sorry about that. That's because I filled up on the number of images I could upload to Roll20, so I went clearing them out, and then I realized that if you delete an image from your library in Roll20, it deletes it if you've put it in the put it on a map. So that is my bad. That is Roll20 being annoying there.
Got it.
Let me
Road
just
20 being derp.
let me move you to the Underdark map, the overworld map for now. So yeah. So unfortunately, like, breaks that immersion. I forgot to check that map. My apologies to both viewers and players. But otherwise, is everyone ready to begin the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Gotta get the right music. Start at the beginning of the track again. Alright. Oh, shoot. Yes, there we go. Just having to do some stream stuff. Sorry about that. Alright. So last time on Mind and Body, the party continued through the Grimlock layer, fighting their way through. Eventually, they were able to find what was leading these Grimlocks as a mass of rats, much like the one Lucille found, with their brains exposed and glowing. This swarm was able to speak with the party and engaged with them a little bit before fighting. Luckily, the party was able to fight this swarm of rats off, all except for one rat, which Lucille captured, and after it did not give too much information, they crushed it. The townspeople were freed, and so the party then went to have a good evening of rest at the tavern. We now come, as well as we recapped before, Lucille tried to return Valdis's coin, but he refused it. At this point, you will all awaken from your long rest, now your leveled up selves, and how would you like to proceed?
Wait, so we've had a long rest?
Yes,
Okay.
you can click your long rest button.
Cool.
Rylek just slowly awakens from her position with her feet literally just in front of the door, or not even at the bed. Whoa. I hate it when I have to do that. And it always gets the better of me. For a while afterward.
Lucille goes downstairs and gets breakfast.
It is actually upstairs because these buildings are built downward instead of upward.
Oh! I go get breakfast
Alright.
and just wait for everyone to get up.
Rylek comes up, kind of stumbling, being as if she's been drained of energy, or didn't really get a good rest.
Also, just to note, I'm still trying to learn how to talk with Lucille's voice that I hear in my head. So if it sounds different every once in a while, that's me practicing.
Don't worry about it. You're allowed to change the character voice as you get
Cool.
better at adjusting to it.
Lucille sees Rylek and she's just like, "Bad night?
Huh?
Bad sleep? You look bad."
Haven't felt like this since the last time. I let my anger get the better of me.
What happened last time?
Rylek suddenly freezes up. I said that out loud. How didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's a story better saved for.
You don't have to talk about it.
Outside. That's not a story safe. Saved for civilized ears.
Okay,
If you understand what I mean.
I understand. You don't have to talk about it.
Just not here.
Okay. I pushed the extra plate I bought in anticipation for the others coming down to Rylek.
Alright.
Begin waiting.
I didn't establish this last session, but we'll say that because you guys freed a lot of the townsfolk, that you were basically like your room price and any meal prices have been waived.
Cool.
Valdis will join.
Good morning,
Good morning.
if it's morning anyway.
And he will just begin eating politely.
So what do we do now?
Barely remember anything that happened after our raid. Hey, just something about Grimlocks.
We fought a bunch of rats, and we killed too many of them to find out where the other hostages were taken. Right, that's what happened last time, right?
The rat just didn't want to tell you.
Oh, little asshole.
Yep.
Okay, well, we still don't know where they went, so Lucille's kind of at a loss.
Is
There
Jacob
is
up
a-
at all?
Yeah, where's Jacob at?
Kind of doing his morning routine a bit, which takes a little bit because he has to then spend it's like 10 minutes putting his armor on. I think that's the time frame for it.
Yeah.
I do know there's a city not too terribly, well, a good distance away, but it might yield some profitable information.
Would probably be best.
That's better than anything I could come up with. How far do you think it is? Like, amount of time. Rough estimate.
Just for clarity, is Valdis speaking of Deepwell?
Yes.
Deepwell is actually going to be pretty far away. So Deepwell is this icon here. That is... Yeah. 1,000 miles away. It's a continent-sized map.
Ah,
A closer option
what's-
would be this city. I forget if I had a name on it because I forgot to organize my notes well. So Deepwell is the Drow capital. This is the Sverfneblin capital, and it is obviously much closer.
never mind. I had that mixed up in my head. I was thinking of the Drow capital. I was actually thinking about maybe checking out the Deep Gnome abode to maybe research a few lingering questions I have.
This is a primarily Smurf Neblin? Is it Smurf or Sverf?
Sverf with
Like-
a V.
Severe.
If this is a Sverf Neblin town, the Grimlocks might be targeting the Deep Mountains. Or maybe that's just a matter of convenience.
The Grimlock's known to organize.
Hmm?
Are Grimlocks known to organize normally?
I wouldn't.
I
Log,
think
that's-
Valdis already gave a check on this information just as a refresher. Not really militaristically, which is kind of what you observed. They're a lot more of like bandit level organization, usually.
Just for reference, after that first rage back at the Grimlock cave, Rylak can barely remember anything after that.
I was refreshing Valdis on what he knew.
Yeah, they're not ones for detailed military tactics. They usually either hit and run or just try to crowd a particular foe.
But if they're working for things like that Herald, they might be organized enough now.
That's no good.
That is not good.
I believe there's worse on the horizon.
Just what's everyone's surface level thoughts right now?
Rylak-
Lucio? Oh, sorry.
Rylak is literally just trying to recount everything that's happened before she passed out, between her first rage back at the cave and and before she actually passed out the prior evening, or whenever she passed out last session.
All right.
Like literally just trying to run her mind through those events because it's a kind of a clouded haze at this point.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Lucille is just concerned and at a loss because she doesn't know where her friends were taken. She doesn't know what to do next because there was no clear step that, showed itself. So she's just kind of looking at Valdis for guidance because he seems to know this place best.
All right.
Well, this is thinking back to the deep gnome that had the affliction on the back of its head, and just running over the myriad possibilities of what could have caused that.
Did Valdis not tell anyone about that?
Nope.
I don't think so. Anyway, Jacob
I
is just
don't
thinking,
recall.
God damn it, this fabric's got a hole in it. I could have sworn it didn't have it last night. Gonna have to sew that up later.
Surface level thoughts are what's happening with the clothing he was about to put on.
I mean,
Well, hey, it's important because it's what is protecting him from chafing from his chainmail. So if
True.
it's a cut, then then most likely it's gonna get worse if someone cuts there again.
also, especially with what you have under your armor for the clothing you have, because that's like gambeson, that's arming level pantaloons. It's like, if that stuff's torn, that is a lot of layered fabric.
Yeah, it's torn and can easily tear through the other layers, you know. Because
Yeah,
now
I
it's
get it,
just
I get
open
it.
because-
Get it. And I withdraw my joke.
All right.
Lucille's hands just like pitter patter on the table, and she's just like,
Gee, Golden's taking a real long time, isn't he?
Golden?
"Oh God, we didn't even learn his name yet, have we?"
Nope, but his armor is golden, so you can call him that.
Okay. Let me restate. Let me try again.
Gee, that our new friend is taking a while, isn't he?
Well, I know. I mean, golden fits. His armor does have gold in it.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have called him Golden. She probably would have called him Goldie, because of the
Blonde
arm.
hair, golden, like. Is it? I don't know. Is it like? I don't know the word. It's like it's like the side stuff. You know, it's not like the actual plating. It's like the.
Patina?
I think so.
Trim, I think is the word
Trim. Yeah.
you're looking for.
Trim. Yeah, trim.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think Jacob would now exit his room, head downstairs, get something to eat, and all that.
I used the wrong name when I was talking about him earlier, wasn't I? Son of a bitch. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it appears we have another guest. Sir Knight, do you plan on joining us this morning?
He shrugs and just sits with you guys because just sort of, yeah, I have nothing better to do.
Did you have any orders you were supposed orders from whoever it was that has tipped you off about that at Grimlock Cave? Any regarding that? Talking to Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob just sort of shakes his head as he just continues to eat.
I don't suppose you know where to find more of those Grimlocks, do you?
Kinda gives you a look of, do I look like I live around here? Or just like
Well, you went after them earlier. I just thought you knew.
Can I roll a history check to see if I can answer that? Like, just dumb question. Hello?
Ian, you there?
I think his connection's kind of screwy.
DM's
Uh-oh.
dead.
Jacob, you haven't told us your name yet, have you? Right? I'm
No.
just my mind is.
Nope.
I am a disaster.
By the way, I recall I don't recall if we all introduced each other in regards to us to you, and vice versa, Sir Knight. Not right. No. I'm sorry. I'm very new to talking to people. I'm still relatively new to talking to people, all civil like.
I pat your arm in sympathy.
My name's Rylek, if I haven't told you it before.
I think I've said it already, but my name's Lucille.
Volgus.
Your name?
And you are?
Eerie.
Eerie. Like, is that your first or last name?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't. Nice to meet you, Yuri.
It's better than our fourth friend. Eerie it is.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist the history check. Anyway,
What were you rolling the history check for?
I have no idea.
Remark check if you know any around.
Oh.
Sorry if I was needed at all there. I had to step away for a moment.
No worries.
We just introduced ourselves to Eerie, as our characters now know him as.
We
All right.
finally got a name.
Well, with pleasantries out of the way, I do believe it is fitting for us to at least catch you up on possible intentions. We were thinking of heading towards the Deep Gnome capital, as it's the largest city in closest proximity to our current location. And given some findings from our excursion yesterday, I believe it would be fruitful to try and learn a little bit more about what might be presiding over us soon.
And what is the Deep Gnome capital?
That right there is the capital. I don't think it has a name yet. Does it,
Yeah.
Sam?
That's on me. Just we'll be using air quotes as in it's filling in for what the name is. I'll have something for you next session if you plan to go there.
It's Smurf Village, but instead of Smurf, it's Sverf.
Sverfington.
Sverfington.
Not to add any gloom to the situation, but I guess it would be frugal for me to disseminate my findings while you all were preoccupied with other tasks. I took it upon myself to investigate the bodies of the deceased, and one of the bodies, a gnomish individual, seemed to have a missing section of their cranium towards
I'm
the
sorry,
back.
what?
Like just swallows her current mouthful and puts her fork down and pushes her plate away. Paul just looks
Lucy-
me up. Sorry.
Lucille's eyes widen. She's just like,
I'm sorry, what?
One, I don't. Never mind. I wasn't there for that. I wouldn't know. Never mind. Well, again, as I said, there was an individual as a part of the pile of bodies that was missing the rear part of their skull. And when observing further, it appears that the contents of said skull were also absconded with.
Pushes plate a little further away.
would I have ever heard of anything like that in like my training at the guild?
Roll me a history check.
Woohoo! History. That's a +0, so 9.
9?
9.
I mean, you have no idea, but the Underdark is full of strange and creepy things.
Was it just like a regular person? Or did the brainless person seem important? Like, what were they wearing?
Your question is a little bit odd to answer.
Like, if
They
they
were
were
no-
an important person, maybe there's a were they the only one who was missing their brain?
Out of the ones I observed, I found only one with a hole in the back of their head.
Yeah. Valdis, you remember some of them had like marks of butchering, but none of them had a hole in their head.
No one else had a hole.
Yeah. No one else. Just that one individual.
That's
Okey-doke.
concerning.
Can I do a perception check?
You may.
17.
17. You do not perceive anything out of the ordinary.
It was a perception check on this situation, so I guess it was more of an insight check, I guess?
Is your insight the same modifier, or is it a different modifier?
+1 as opposed to +4. Yeah, I'll roll
Um,
that.
14.
Did I?
So
So just
we'll keep the roll and just adjust the modifier, so that brings it to a 14. It's strange. You would have no prior knowledge of anything like this.
would I know that there would be a reason for it?
With an
Or
14
be able to
insight,
figure it out?
there's many reasons the brain could be gone. There's many reasons. It could be ritual. It could be some sort of creature. It could be anything. You just have no. I would say that it's like your instincts are telling you that you do not have enough information to reach a conclusion.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What Lucille's kind of fixated on is why only one person?
I would not focus too heavily on the quantity. I would focus more so on the actual actions that took place.
What the
As
hell happened?
it could be anything from possibly a ritual sacrifice. It was a whole board physically. I at first thought it might be some sort of underdark creature, maybe using some acidic spit to maybe try and eat away and get at a tender meat inside, but this is deliberate and even almost intelligent.
Dinner just got called for IRL for me. BRB. I heard. I'll be right back with some food for myself.
No worries, go eat. I look at Eerie and say,
I don't suppose you've ever heard of anything like this.
I feel like I should roll, but at the same time, I don't really. I'm not sure.
I mean, like I'll full disclosure, like there isn't a history check that would tell anyone anything that's going on.
Yeah.
Like you all can just like I at that point it's like none of you have any idea what this is about. Just because it is something that has not been recorded before.
Mm-hmm. Would there be like a religious thing related to something similar to this? Like if and thus use a religion check to see if there's like a ritual or something that like possibly needs a brain or whatever, you know?
Roll me history check or religion. Actually, religion would probably be the better one.
Dirty 20.
Dirty
Whoa.
20. You just met the DC.
oh,
It's Grimlocks, and you remember something about their religion, that while Grimlocks do eat people, what they find most sacred, and despite finding it most sacred, it's something they rarely do, is eat the brain. People believe, scholars believe that it has something to do with whatever far realm influence they encountered that caused the origin of this ritual. But the fact that a brain was completely removed and that it was Grimlock's, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, brain is like is something sacred to Grimlocks, if I remember correctly. So them removing it and I don't know, building a shrine for it or some shit, I don't know, makes kind of sense. So
Gross.
I mean, there are worse things, I guess, zealots have done in their lives, but this definitely ranks up there.
We might learn more at that capital you mentioned earlier.
The gnomish
Did we
people
move?
are quite intelligent, so
Still discussing things. Jacob just remembered that the brain has a religious significance for the Grimlocks.
Also, quick question: the location that Jacob was initially going to,
That would be Deepwell.
and where is that located? Because they recommend going here.
Deepwell
okay.
is here. However, since you're thinking about this, general intelligence check. It's not for anything too big. It's just, yeah, you would know that every big city, at least on the surface, has teleportation circles to the other big cities, and so you can presume, especially with the 15, they most likely have a similar setup.
Yeah. So
So just doing the math,
yeah. Okay, just real quick as well.
it would take you a little more than half the time to get to the Deep Gnome capital, and then from there you can just instantly teleport to Deepwell.
Yeah, rather than doing.
That would take 50 days to walk. So it
Yeah.
would. Yep. Each tile, each hex is a
100
5-day
miles.
period. 100 miles, 5 days.
Holy sh- How long would it take us to get to Smurfville over there?
That
Well, okay,
is that's 6 tiles, so 30 days.
Here's also the context for that as well, is that it's 8 hours of travel per day, so technically we can push it, and do technically like 16 hours of travel per day, and thus move technically 2 days at once, but it is still a long time.
Yeah.
Because they consider 8 hours of travel to be the reasonable amount of average time that people take traveling.
I would say
True
if
for
you're
horses,
I would say if you're pushing it and traveling for the full 16, I would give you guys levels of exhaustion for that.
Yeah, because it's essentially in standard terms, it's usually with like in merchant sense, it's usually time is then taken to rest the horses, because pushing the horses further than that can put them at risk of chafing themselves and or hurting themselves on carts and stuff. And as for people, since most of the time they are armored and carrying luggage, traveling longer than that without taking some sort of short break in between, is likely to cause hiker wear out, like basically as if you were hiking for a long period,
Yeah. Do we even have the rations to make it?
What I will say is that how I do travel is that for each tile, there is an encounter and there is a town where you can resupply.
Oh, thank God.
I mean because that's sort of because it usually is like a day or two away from each other of just like how most random villages are spread out, you know?
Yeah. I just use simplified rules like that to just make travel snappy and all that. So.
Yep.
Okay.
We should stock up before we go.
Yeah.
See
I
if
am not opposed.
there. I want to see if there's a potion seller in town.
All right. For this town,
Yeah.
it's a smaller town and potions are pretty expensive. There would not be a potion seller.
Are there any like Oh my god, what do I have? Like any like first aid supplies basically to help.
You already have a at the general store would have a medicine kit you could get.
Cool. I would like to buy that.
Yeah, I would say with the general store buying when you guys are buying rations and other supplies, it's gonna be at half cost. The inn is just covering you completely. So you can get a medicine kit for half of the price.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine kit. What do I add? Okay, add equipment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I get in the mode of like I know how to work a thing, and so I forget I need to teach people how to work a thing. That's my bad.
That reminds me. I think Jacob was gonna attempt to get either Weaver's tool or leatherworking because the fact to help ensure that he has the tools to be able to repair his stuff.
Alright,
Because you know how all heavy armor is gonna have some form of layer protection to help
Yeah.
against chafing and all that. And so, but I don't remember if the higher level stuff gets leather added into it. Or if
it's
all-
gonna be cloth because
all right.
because it's a gambesson or an arming doublet that you wear under heavy armor. Gambesson for chain, and then for you need an arming doublet for plate, partially to attach it to yourself.
Yeah, so it's basically Weaver's tools then.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Then Jacob would buy one set just for that.
Alright.
Oh, I do have an herbalism kit.
Herbalism kit is different from medicine kit. So herbalism.
It says
Herbalism.
healing here.
Herbalism. Because you can use an herbalism kit to make potions and stuff.
Okay, cool. I'll still get that medicine kit then.
Yeah. So
Um,
medicine
I
kit
could-
helps you stabilize people, while an herbalism kit is like when you know how to use an herbalism kit, you can make potions.
I couldn't find it in like that catalog thing.
Let
Or-
me find it for you then.
Thank you. So I just wrote it down in my other possessions.
Yeah, I'll look for it for you and get it in your inventory.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then
Question: how long are these sessions? Do we typically run these sessions again?
2 hours.
yeah, and then and then how much was the Weaver's was 1 gold? So and you said that we were getting a discount because we helped
Yeah.
the people here.
So that's 5 silver.
5 silver, alrighty.
I didn't start off with
Well, Jacob haggle.
any
Jacob
money, so
haggle.
technically, how much money did we start off with?
You should have started off with money.
I didn't. I don't think I recall you telling us how much money we start off with.
Based off of your background in your class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's based off your background.
Yeah, based on background and class.
This
Yeah, I didn't start off with any money.
I think I
Um,
think you're using a custom background that wasn't set up well. The usual is 10 gold, so I'll just add that for you.
Yeah, and then it's
Cool.
10. Yeah, and then it's 10. And then what class are you? A monk, right?
Yeah, I'm a monk.
Then
hand
roll 5d4.
Well,
and then that's
it's that
Oh.
you can either get starting gold
Oh,
or
yeah, right,
class.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, then the starting goes completely dependent on the fucking
the background.
background. Yeah, because
Okay.
right.
Would rolling to Toss my cane, toss my great 8 club in the air and see if I can catch it. Catch it be an athletics check, an acrobatics check, or a raw dexterity check.
Roll and tap.
I would say
Cool.
that's raw. If you're trying to throw it up and catch it, raw dexterity.
13.
13? Yeah, you're able to throw it up and catch it and just keep going like that.
Yeah, Rylex just doing that out of boredom. Boredom at the edge of at whatever edge of town they were gonna leave out of.
Yeah.
Just before we head out, I just had a question for DM. Does the oh my god, I hope I get this name right. What was the name? That's was the name. Does the Hearthkeeper have any specific symbol?
Yeah, the Hearthkeeper's symbol is a relatively simple one. It's just a fireplace with a fire inside.
Understood. That's it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
As a note, the Hearthkeeper isn't usually worshipped here because there is the Underdark Pantheon here.
Very true.
Which, as a note, this is just me talking about my cool stuff because I put a lot of effort into the way the pantheons work. There are deities who are shared between the Underdark Pantheon and other pantheons. However, those are deities from the Empire and the territories. No kingdom. Brain. Basically, if any kingdom deities are here, it's a rare thing.
Niche worship.
Yeah.
At
I-
best.
I mean, like, I'm gonna use the word because we have a modern connotation, but it's like it's cult worship, and not in the modern version of cult, but it's just like to quote Critical Role, a god is just a cult with a franchise.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, progressing. I'm assuming that we're all in agreement to head to the Deep Gnome capital and try and progress from there.
Yeah, and yeah, and then I know, and Jacob would try and haggle down the already half-priced sweep tools because that's just the person he is.
Then I would say roll me persuasion.
That's a 12.
12. I would say you would probably get 1 silver cheaper.
Alrighty, so just 4 silver. Alrighty, and then yeah. We could probably inquire about possibly getting the materials to start making his splint armor, but that's for later. And probably be better to go to the capital first to get a wider range of wider range of fucking materials.
All right.
Kind of a given that we buy rations, right?
I mean, you all start with 10 rations.
Oh, cool.
And I would say that, like, your group came prepared, you just left with your 10 rations.
Okay.
10? I have 5.
Oh, is it? 5? Let me...
I have 10.
have
It might be because my backpack is different than everyone else's because it's more paladin related, you know.
Gotcha.
Aw.
Yeah, because I think I chose that pack, so
By the way, Lucille,
Yes.
Valdis is just gonna hold out his hand at you.
Uh,
I will take the coin.
Okay. I hand you the coin. What made you change your mind?
Hello?
in order to. Yeah, he's.
No,
It's a
wait,
long pause.
Oh, okay.
No, wait, I'm a dumbass. It is 10. I just saw the weight as 5.
Yes.
That's why. That's my confusion. Anyway, sorry.
There's going to be a lot that we're going to have to do down here in order to survive that we're not going to like. If this is one of those things, I'd rather mark it off as this than something more depraved. And he holds it like someone would hold, like, someone else's dirty laundry and just kind of puts it in his backpack.
Well, for what it's worth, I think it's better off with you.
Better off being smelted into something useful.
After this is all done.
Meanwhile, Rylek just calls at a reasonably loud volume. Why leaving yet?
Well, I'm ready to go, so I go to stand by your side. But I shoot Valdis a thumbs up at him as I leave. With all 4 of my limbs. Or arms.
A very small smile is written.
She's just like inwardly, she's like, yes, we're bonding.
Rylek sees this interaction out of the corner of her eye, raises her eyebrow, Owen is like, and then just shrugs it off. Goes back to twirling her gate, goes back to tossing her stick up and down, which, if you don't mind, I'm gonna re-roll for since she stopped to ask that question.
Go ahead.
8.
8. Yeah.
It
You're.
lands on my head. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Lands on my head, and I catch it afterward. I catch it with a little stuttering hand grip afterward. How's that?
I clap awkwardly.
I meant to do that.
I had no doubts.
You can tell both are sarcastic for reference.
Roll for sarcasm.
No.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
DM, you were saying?
Nothing. I'm just trying to fix some things behind the scene.
Moving on from the shenanigans of Rylek and Lucille, or would it be Lucille and Rylek?
Personally, I alphabetize them. Lucille and Rylek.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, thing is fixed from behind the scenes. Alright. So, you all should have control of the red knight token here, and that basically represents the party as you travel. As stated, you can move 1 hex. Each hex is 5 days. We'll go over what happens in there. There will be an encounter. Doesn't necessarily have to be combat, just an encounter. And then a brain, please. An encounter and a resupply in a town. You can also feel free to have any RP moments in between. I just do my traveling like this to keep it quick and concise.
Rylek's just gonna be quiet and introspect and seemingly observing herself from within, observing herself, her inner self the entire time. Either way, unless someone would initiates conversation with her.
Lucille's just gonna take any chance she gets to be able to sneak ahead unseen, usually climbing on the walls and stuff, just to make sure the path ahead is clear.
Right.
Since she's the smallest.
Yeah, you will notice that while I'm presuming you guys are just moving to this space here.
Yeah, pretty much.
You'll notice that the cave the Underdark isn't a bunch of little caves. It is massive. You, for most of the time, you're not able to see the walls. At this point, like even at this point, like just because of where you could be traveling, you may not even see the wall, even when it extends out like that.
Yeah, we may not
I-
even see that little corner. Would there be stalactites for her to climb up?
Yeah,
I'd-
something to just give me a better view.
I would say that every now and then you could get just thinking, because I know that it's just confusing whether it's stalagmites or stalactites or on the floor. But
Stalagmites
still
are
don't know.
ground, stalactites are ceiling.
thank you.
Oh.
So
G
yeah,
ground, E ceiling.
every
E ceiling.
Yep. every now and then there are some that you could climb up, Lucille. Make me a perception check.
Perception. 17.
17. Yeah, you're able to keep the party out of danger pretty well by doing this.
She's usually so chatty, but she's just like thinking like, oh, about like that weird brainless thing that Valdis saw, and if her friends are okay.
Right. So at this point, we will do the town. As you reach the town, I will say you guys have used. This would be the second day in the hex, so that is 2 rations for that you should remove from your sheet just to keep track of it, and you can resupply on rations or anything else you need to. I have to fix something really quick for the encounter because I just realized I did not put your guys' tokens in the encounter
That'd be
on the
nice.
map. Yeah, that would definitely be nice for me to fix.
I guess we'll
If
go-
there are, oh, here we go. If there are, any like animals we run into or something, could we potentially eat those and save our rations?
Yes.
I would think it's more like or along the lines of giant insects.
Uh,
and other Underdark type animals, but we should be able
In-
to find something edible.
Yeah. With that point brought up, let me both bring the game back up for the audience and do 9. I would say you find enough to cover you find a giant spider, and so by defeating it pretty easily, you're able to cover days of rations with it. How does everyone react to eating giant spider? I will say it is very meaty, but it is a spider, and so that may have psychological components to how you perceive it.
Lucille's a little put off because she herself is a spider person. But, I mean, she'll eat it.
Rylek is conflicted because one part it tastes good. Second, on one hand it tastes good. On the other hand, she's now friends with a spider person.
Just don't think about it. I pat your arm and just like, just don't think about it.
Jacob's not gonna actually eat it.
Oh,
He's just gonna eat his rations.
and Valdis?
He'll eat it.
Right.
Do we roll like Constitution or something just to make sure we don't get food poisoning?
No, because, like, it's a spider. You don't really need to cook it too much. Cook is mostly to add flavor.
I would
Think of
think-
it as chicken.
I would
Or
think
crab.
we made it ate its guts into a stew.
Ew. Ew.
What else are you gonna do?
I was
I don't
thinking
know.
just using the meat from the legs like a crab, but okay.
Yeah, like a crab, just like crack it open and like poke out the meat.
Big enough spider, maybe.
Oh, that's
How
it.
big is this spider?
It's a giant spider. It's like the size of one of you.
Okay,
Bigger than me?
I would assume bigger than her.
Oh, that's a big fella then.
as I guess we're eating the spider, or, well, we'd be in town by now, so let's get to that point.
Would we?
I'm sorry, could you read? I had a hard time understanding the question.
I was bringing us back to the spider conversation, but we can have this conversation when we're actually at the town 2 days in.
Alright, so I would say that so you covered your days of rations with the spider, and then you're at the town. And there you go.
Since Ralak seems to be a bit preoccupied, Lucille,
Yes?
I don't mean to be a bother, but do remember that we did have a deal, and
Oh.
I'm perfectly capable of holding up my end of the bargain, but I was curious what you were intending with your end.
I don't have a question. Wait, are you asking about me teaching you Sylvan?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that as we walk.
Splendid.
Let me just look up the rules on learning a language.
It should be downtime training, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and even though it's technically downtime training, I allow it just like on the road training.
Oh yeah, that's because it's technically downtime during
Yeah.
that time.
Also, Amaya, I fixed your inventory for you. I added all the
thank
things
you.
that you should have gotten.
Oh, thank you. Sorry you had to do that.
It's fine.
Cool.
I'm confused where my inventory should stand.
I can check it out after this.
After these messages.
So it'll take 10 work weeks, which is trying to remember how my calendar works. Right.
The average work week is 5 days, so it would be around.
Well, it's I think it's 6 for Librostin with how the calendar works.
Right.
And so that is so that normally is 60 days, but then oh no, I just work it as the 5 anyway. So 50 days, but then it is
Reduced by character's intelligence.
yeah. So your intelligence, what is your intelligence modifier, Valdus? 4?
So it is 6 work weeks instead of the standard 10.
Yes. So that would take you 30 days.
Holy shit. And he'd be able to have of Sylvan learned by the time we get there.
Jesus.
By the by, negative modifier doesn't actually increase
Yeah.
the days. It just is standard 10, even if you have negative.
Yep.
He is a linguist. It is kind of what he does.
I wish I could learn a language in like 30 days.
I could teach
Technically
it to
can.
you in an afternoon if I wanted to.
Bruh. How many
Rylak's coming out of her introspection and starts looking at Valdis at the out of the corner of her eye.
I mean, in all honesty, it kind of takes about it either takes between 2 months or 2 years to learn a different language, depending on how different the language is from yours.
I also have an ability in my background that lets me teach someone a language a lot faster.
Wow. As we walk and stuff, she just asked, like, how many languages do you know anyway?
14.
14? How do you fit all that in your head?
I have a very big head. Ralak, you seem a little bit perturbed. Is there something on your mind?
Just been thinking on how to actually get around to teaching you. Each of you my native tongue. You know, that of the eastern continents. I might have effed up the accent there.
No problem.
I'm sorry, did I come out clear?
You did.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfectly fine. Again, I don't intend to rush either of you on this. I am merely inquiring, and if you wish to put me to my test, I am more than happy to answer any question that might be burning in your mind. When you're comfortable asking one, of course.
I will ask you when I come up with something. And,
It was also
honestly,
addressing that.
All right. What? My ADHD is kicking in, and I don't know how much longer I can actually go on this.
Alright, well, we'll just move then to the encounter another 2 days after you get to the town. And I can move you all over to that map.
Ooh.
So as you can move along the
I
path
see a
freely.
giant snake on my ache in terms of what I see as a player on the map.
My brother in Christ, what is that?
Well, yeah, I'll have the snake approach.
No.
Greetings.
Like, as a player, I see this. I doubt Rylek can actually see this.
I'm kind of like the party scout. Do I see this?
Yeah. It's not approaching aggressively as of current.
I just like look at the others like we should probably hide.
Greetings, travelers. The
Oh,
snake will
go
begin
for
to
it.
speak.
What language?
Rylek's head snaps up.
It's
does it
in
say?
common.
Alright.
Snaps up at the
Greetings.
sound of common in a distinctly undercommon dominant location.
What?
I hide behind Rylek.
Rylek steps forward to accommodate.
If I may ask, what is your business here?
What is yours? And that will be a response in Draconic.
The creature looks at you. You can tell that it does not understand.
Large reptile. Interesting. Different from above.
I.
Does anyone wish to take this conversation?
Huh?
Good, I will then. We are merely passing through. Lowly travelers, if you will.
Oh, passers-by must pay the toll.
What kind of toll?
Whatever toll you choose to offer.
What do you accept?
Let me see your offers.
Lucille's petrified. How big is this snake again?
It's a large creature, so I would say, size of a reticulated python. Let me look that up.
Reticulated python.
Yeah, reticulated python, largest snake.
Oh. Yeah, she's petrified. She's just like hiding.
Mass
It's, like, peeking out.
2.2 to 170 pounds.
Can be up to 21 feet long. No. Nah.
Yep, it's a big snake.
It's a big boy. I love snakes, but.
Rylek is just glaring at this thing. With shadows licking with the shadows of her O's that indicate she's gone into rage. It's licking at the edges of her eyeballs, unbeknownst to everyone else, since, her back's to them. But the snake can well and clearly see it, right?
Let
eyes.
me roll insight to see if it understands what the eyes mean. With a 7, nah. It's just looking at you all expectantly.
Does it accept cash or credit?
Make your offer.
Right.
I hold out 4 gold in a trembling hand and be like, "Is this okay?"
Slithers over. If it is money you offer, I require a bit more than this.
Knowledge, then.
Knowledge? What knowledge could you provide?
Knowledge of the birth of a new god, of course.
New deity. Speak.
Have you heard of the Masters?
I know of the master.
Ah. Then you are unaware of the birth of what I can only describe in my mortal tongue as a hive mind of a god.
Are these the masters that the Grimlocks have been speaking of for ages eternal?
You know something about them? Rylek steps forward.
Yes. The Grimlocks won't shut up about them.
I think they're here.
Ooh, that is an interesting development. That with a small monetary compensation will be enough for you to pass.
Rylek grabs her gold pouch and tosses it in front onto the snake.
I give it 5 gold.
It will snatch up Rylek's gold pouch. Thank you all. And then slither back.
Does it take my gold or just Rylek's?
Just Rylek's.
Okay, I'll pick up my gold and just like...
I'm gonna subtract 10 gold from my inventory.
Congratulations.
I'll give the 5 gold to you.
So just bring myself down to 5.
Yep. Congratulations, you overcame the encounter without combat.
Oh, thank God.
Jacob just stares on, going, "What the fuck?"
Jacob isn't more going, "What the fuck?" He's more just like looking at everyone kind of be afraid while he's here totally ready to just then throw down with it.
Lucille just like stoops over like, I think my heart stopped.
Well, that
Right.
was exciting.
Rylek just turns her attention back to the road, just puts her club on her shoulder and continues down the road. Not even looking back.
For the rest of that day, Lucille sticks close to Rylek.
Alright. Shall we proceed to the next hex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So, for Valdis, that will be 5 days, if you want to note it somewhere, of learning Sylvan. I still want to draw out the S's. It's just such a fun way to speak. Alright.
I can imagine.
So in this next hex for your encounter, we're going to be doing it actually pretty early this time. You notice two Druigar soldiers along the road, heading in the same direction that you are. You can.
A polite nod and continuing on unless confronted.
Yeah,
They'll-
pretty much.
They'll
Okay,
just
pass it
nod
out.
back at you and proceed forward.
Not even acknowledging them. I'm just walking by.
All right. Jacob, do you have anything to add there?
So what is the encounter really?
You just see two Druigar walking along their way.
Yeah,
Great
nothing,
dwarves.
nothing really there. Just him. I'll be honest, Jacob isn't really paying. Isn't really. He's paying attention. He just doesn't give a shit.
All right.
So pretty much what Rylak does, not even and acknowledge them, just walk on by.
Yeah, basically how he was also acting towards the party earlier.
All right.
Till we proved we can be useful.
How many rations do we go through?
At this point, it would have been you covered one set of rations.
With that
yeah.
spider. So we're at 9.
That was then. I would say, 1 silver for staying in the town, and then that covered your meal. And then it has been 5. It has been 4 since, so you're down 4 rations at this point.
Okay, so we're at
So we're at
Well-
6 or 5.
Yeah, so you guys at 5, technically plus 1 because there was an extra ration that Jacob didn't eat. So if I had 2 episodes, decide who the fuck gets that, and Jacob's at 4 rations.
I see rolls in the chat.
That is just for me since you guys are keen on hunting things, that's just for me deciding if you get a hunt to supply rations.
if we don't are we at a town now?
Yes, so
I'd
then
like to
3 days in, so that's 3 more rations, you will reach a town.
So 3 more rations. All right.
So you're coming in from this side. And here is the town.
Wow.
Let me get more fitting music. This is more fitting music. Yet again, it's a Sverfneblin town, primarily, but this is a full-blown town, not a smaller one. It's pretty big.
Rylak just tries to find somewhere she can buy more rations.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I have enough money for a potion. But I
So-
don't look any
You will find that general stores are these 3 buildings about here. This is an inn.
These 3 buildings,
Yes.
things are general stores.
Yep. There you can find, between them, you can find any equipment you'll need, rations, etc.
Mm.
how much are like the basic potions?
A healing potion would be 50 gold.
Never mind.
Yep. Healing potions are expensive because they are lifesavers and not technically magic items. Even though they're common.
I'm just gonna keep my kit handy. Actually, do I have what I need currently in my herbalism kit to make a potion?
You will need the 25 gold of materials.
Never mind.
Yep.
How much are the how much would I need to spend to get another 10, like 8 days of rations to get myself back up to 10?
It should give a cost on the sheet, but I'm just gonna. It should have a cost for each of the items in your inventory. I'll double check for you though.
Cost
is-
one?
Just a
It-
little experimentation on the
gold.
settings says
Yeah,
says
ration.
that rations one day are 0.5 gold pieces.
AKA 5 silver. So their rations are 5 silver per thing, unless unless
my-
the bundle price exists, like Quiver, like Arrows does.
I would
My
say
thing is one-
bundle. I would say bundle price. So for each ration is going to be a silver.
Okay.
Hmm.
So each ration is a silver, so 8 silver. Okay. I'll
gonna
just
bring
like
myself
pop
to
down
8.
gold.
I'm gonna bring myself up to 8 total.
All right.
I'm gonna plop down a gold to just get like a full 10.
All right. Thank you for business. Actually, he's a Surf Neblin. Thank you for business. The
Yeah.
the individual will say.
Yeah, Jacob will do the same of gold for 10.
Well, y'all are bulk buying, huh? Well, I guess if you are such good customers, 5 more rations to distribute amongst the group.
Oh wow.
Persuasion to see if he can possibly get more, thus technically get cheaper, and thus technically be cheaper overall.
Roll persuasion.
That is an 18 right there.
18. I would say another 3. So that
So
is 8
two-
free rations you got. 2 free per.
If we're splitting them
Um,
evenly.
I got 12 rations. Whoever has the least amount of rations can get more. I think I'm okay for the next 12 days.
That brings me up to 10 total. What about everyone else?
I have 12.
12. Jacob, you didn't eat that spider. Jacob didn't eat that spider. You can take
my rations, Eerie.
Alrighty, so how many rations am I getting? Because I bought
You
the
get
10,
4.
so 15. Not a hunt, not 115.
Alright, can I get everyone's surface level thoughts?
After dropping that gold to buy rations, she's like, maybe we can take jobs or something. to
Rylex
make
just-
more money.
Rylex
But
just. Sorry.
Sorry. She's like, but if the others are in a rush, she's like, fine. But she's just like, oh, maybe we can like. She's just trying to figure out a way to like preserve what little money she has left.
Alright. Whoever wants to go next?
Rylex just. Let's try. Just. More so worried that the rage is affecting her memory either way that it is. Like she's confident it's the rage that she went through. The fact that she raged twice in one day that caused that. That's causing her mind to play up the way it is.
Alright.
Like literally, her thoughts are on why is the rage affecting me so?
Valdis.
Boy, we sure got a good deal.
And
That's your thoughts?
At surface level, yeah.
Okay.
And Jacob?
No thoughts, head empty. That's kind of Jacob right now. He is
Head
into...
empty, only mission.
Yes.
At that point, could I ask Jacob to roll me a wisdom save?
Hmm.
21. Alright. So yeah, so the inn's right there if you all want. There. Yeah.
Lucille like raises her hand, says,
We don't necessarily need to spend our money to stay in an inn. I can make a camp.
In the
Right.
middle of town.
No, I mean like outside of town. We don't need to necessarily sleep in towns.
I just need somewhere to sit down and think for a little bit.
I just want an excuse to use my fucking background feature.
I think we've been using it. It's just simply,
Yeah,
It's more passive than anything.
yeah. Anyway, Jacob just also is gonna go, but I want to sleep in a bed and not on hard rock. Even though most beds are like rocks anyway. You get the idea. As he just
Fair
sort of
enough.
heads in to go buy a room.
Fair enough, I guess.
We have been sleeping using your abilities over the past 10, 15 days. It's hard to keep track of time.
Yeah,
but it did get to roll
for it.
She wants to roll for it.
No,
That's fair.
fuck off. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a little bored. It's all traveling.
That traveling isn't exciting.
Ugh. Whatever, fine. We'll go to an inn. I'm just being a baby.
Rylak doesn't even buy a room. She just sits outside at the end, trying to keep out of the way.
All right. Yeah. So, we'll come back to Rylak in a little bit, but first off, all of
In
you.
that case, do you mind if I deafen?
Yeah, you can deafen for a bit. I'll ping you when we're ready to come back to Rylak.
Okay.
So,
that wasn't deafening. That was leaving, my man.
Wrong button, I swear.
alright. So the rest of you, I presume, enter the inn.
Yes.
Yep.
The innkeeper, and I'm gonna phrase it like this just for the comedic effect that Jacob doesn't know Undercommon. The innkeeper gives a greeting in Undercommon. So that means that Lucille and Valdis understand, but Jacob's just like, I guess that was a greeting? I don't know the language.
Just a quick question. How is your guys' money looking? Like, how much money do you guys have?
You.
A decent amount.
Cool. Cool.
Is it okay if I room with one of you? I think a room is a bit too much for little old me.
Just because, she's small.
Sure.
She just, has a corner.
So, well, that's cutting ahead a little bit. So, the innkeeper gives the greeting. Hi, welcome in. How can I help you? I don't know why I gave a southern accent, but that's what came out of my mouth.
It's because she's an innkeeper.
Yeah.
Just
Two
looking for a place to stay for the evening.
Alright then, silver per room.
I only have gold pieces.
I can change, don't worry. So,
I guess I'm paying for everyone's room and I'll drop a gold piece.
she will give you 8 silver back.
Okey-doke.
Just, if I were you all, I'd maybe get out of here quick. Strange stuff's been going on in this town.
Like what?
Some people have been acting like themselves. Some would say go mindless. Others acting like completely different people. Some people even just straight going missing.
How long has this been happening?
A few weeks at this point.
How long has it been since we left the starting town?
Doing the math and how I set it out, it's been 9 days. It's just been, less getting worse and more it's just been proceeding, and now we're at a point where it's definitely starting to get bad.
It could be more of those brain-eating things.
I say to Valdis.
At this point, we're gonna cut to Rylak. I will do the ping. Yeah. So while we're waiting, how's everyone feeling about the session so far?
Finally excited now that something's happening.
I have a quick question. This may or may not play into anything, but what would a shield be as an improvised weapon?
I would say, that's a hard. Improvised weapons are always somewhat difficult. If you're hitting with the flat of the shield, I would say it's a D4. If you're hitting with the edge of the shield, I would say D6 bludgeoning.
Alright.
But because it would be an improvised weapon, but you do have Shield Master as a feat, so yeah, I would say you have proficiency to attack with the shield, but it will be an improvised weapon.
Yeah, I'm just asking in case I have to go. In case I have to basically play Jacob as I built him, basically be Captain America. Because I remember the last time I played him, that's exactly what happened. So I'm just double checking now.
I think Ralak went full AFK.
Maybe. In that case, we can continue with the in scene if until Rylak shows up again.
Valdis will look to Lucille as she says that and just say, yeah, we've encountered a few
I'm
strange...
sorry, I didn't.
Never mind.
Well, yeah, we'll
Oh my
just
God.
we'll just finish Valdis's line and then we can do Rylak's scene.
Yes, we've encountered a few strange things in our travels so far.
Right. Now, Rylak's scene, because as you are sitting outside, you notice something you've seen before. You see a rat. But it is a rat with an exposed brain case. And it will stop in its path and look right at you. And you both
Right.
stare each other in the eyes.
Rylak's gaze goes from a deadpan to and slowly to a glaring hatred as the raging black licks at her irises again.
The rat will scurry off as fast as it can.
Rylak will calm down. That's gonna bite me in the ass later, I can tell. Need to get control of this. Oh, this damn rage.
Then we will, so the rest of you will, how does Lucille respond to what Valdis had said?
What did he say again? We've encountered something like this before?
We've encountered strange things. My mistake singling out Lucille, I thought he was specifically talking to Lucille. If I misunderstood, then that's on me.
I think Valdis was just talking to the innkeeper when he said that.
Yeah, so my misunderstanding then. You've seen stuff like this, eh?
Yes, to a similar degree, you can say.
I
What?
don't suppose any Grimlocks have come in and kidnapped people, have they?
Oh no, the town's too big for that. We usually scare the Grimlocks off. What?
Rylak pops her head in, and then asks to the group that had come with him, with her. I'm sorry. Let me start that again from the beginning. Rylak pops her head in and asks if either Valdis, this Eerie, or Lucille could come have a quick word with him. Over something she just saw.
Yeah, Jacob's just gonna walk over. He probably isn't understanding the conversation at all because he's been in undercommon.
Oh my god, that's true. I'll stay with Valdis then. The buddy system.
Rylek explains things about the rat they had caught, they had seen in the previous town, and how it resembled the rat swarm in the Grimlock cave, and then straight up says, I just scared another one of them little buggers off. Is that a problem?
I'd
Shrugs and just sort of goes, maybe not. I don't know if they're common around here or not.
Can I ask the lady if she's seen any funny rats? Just as a funny, like, simultaneous thing.
What do you mean, funny rats?
Like, have you seen a rat with a glowing head and you can see its brain?
Oh, gods, no. I haven't seen anything like that.
You should probably watch for those and kill them when you see it, because those aren't rats anymore.
What are Lucille and Valdis's passive perceptions?
16.
12.
Lucille, with the 16 passive perception, you notice that as you mention the rats, one of the patrons will look over in your direction.
Can I, like, just watch that patron out of, like, the side of my eye just so, like, they don't notice I'm just, like, staring at them? And see what's up with them?
Yeah, you notice that, like, as soon as you mention the rats, this patron is now paying attention to your conversation with the innkeeper. They're not moving, they're just, like, focused on you.
Can I get an insight check to see if this is, like what his deal is?
Yes, you may roll insight.
Insight. Fucking 9.
9. Hard to read.
Oh, that's not good. I, like, subtly tug at Valdis's pant leg and my ear twitches in the patron's direction.
Meanwhile, are Jacob and Rylek doing anything outside?
Rylek's pretty much said her piece and was planning on going back, planning on bringing it up to the others actually shortly.
Jacob, same. He said his piece and then said his piece, shrugged, and just probably went back inside.
Alright, so you both go back in.
I enter for the first time.
Yep,
Allow me to edit.
Yes.
Just because I just poked my head in when calling for someone.
Yes. Yeah. So you two have entered the inn.
And then I repeat the bit about having seen a rat out at, like, the one we had Lucille had jarred 2 of in town and having glared it off.
I kind of, like, make gestures for Rylek to quiet down a bit, and, like, my head twitches towards that patron that's, I assume, is still staring me down.
Yes.
Uh,
But the patron doesn't, because if correct me if I'm wrong, Rylek does not speak Undercommon, much like Jacob.
No.
So the patron does not react to anything Rylek said.
Oh, okay. Am I able to suss that out? That this patron can't speak common?
Yeah, I mean it's like at this point you've reached the point where people here do not speak common as much anymore.
Okay.
Like it's getting rare that someone can speak common.
Actually, can I, like, look over this patron? Like, what do they look like?
They look like a normal Sverfnebelin like everyone else. They look male. So he looks male. But other than that, like, nothing, like, probably distinguishing features, but nothing that makes them seem evil by any means.
Rylick then realizes is what Isaac is some that Lucille had been freaking out when she was bringing up the rat for seemingly no reason, and starts looking where she was twitching towards.
I try to stop her, and I just say in common,
That guy has been staring at me since I mentioned the rat. Let's maybe not look right at him.
Too late, because I just looked at him.
oh my god, it's like, don't turn around, and then you turn right around.
Roll me straight charisma.
Me or
That Rylek.
straight charisma? 6.
6. You're staring this patron down, and he stands up and starts walking towards the group.
Also, quick, like, technical question.
Yes?
My passive insight is 16, but would that not count, even if I, like, roll, like, an active insight check?
I would, because it's like, passive insight, passive perception is kind of like, it's not insight, but I'm going to use perception as the example. Passive perception is like, just kind of like, oh, oh, that stands out. Whereas when you're actively rolling perception, you're looking for something, in which case you may overlook something. I have definitely been there myself.
Okay.
Passive is DM's discretion.
Okay.
And rolled is player or actively looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this individual, he is walking towards the group.
Rylek just keeps her eyes locked on him. M raising an eyebrow as he gets halfway through. Hey there.
I'm just like, easy, Rylek.
Valdis begins to slowly, still back to the patron approaching us, facing towards the bartender, kind of getting a grasp on the situation, is just very slowly reaching underneath his sleeve and slowly unsheathing his short sword.
I heard you all mention a rat trouble with the brains.
Have you seen them?
Yes, I have. I could, if they're causing this trouble, I could help. I could show you where they are, and you could help us.
No way,
Lucille.
I'm not going to the secondary location.
Yeah, Lucille. This is setting off alarm bells for you, and everyone who has over 11 passive insight, this is setting off alarm bells for you.
I'm at passive insight 11.
Yeah, so meets it beats it. You are kind of getting this like.
Also, is he speaking in Undercommon?
He is.
I do not understand him.
Okay.
Yeah. Same. Jacob has like 15 passive insight, but I don't think would actually be triggered by this because they aren't understanding a single word.
You two who don't understand Undercommon, you can at least get that this guy is sketchy.
I look at
Rylek would be paying more attention to Lucille's body language to see if this guy's is on the up and up.
She is tense. She's like, it's like she's staring down a predator. And then she looks at you and Eerie, and she says in common,
He knows about the rats, and he knows where they are.
I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna straight up ask him. With Lucille's permission to translate. And how exactly would you know it?
I translate.
I saw a lot of them. I thought it was weird, but a lot of weird stuff happens here, and I didn't think anything too much of it.
You
It-
saw a bunch of. How many rats did you see?
Around 5, 7, something like that.
You saw a bunch of rats with transparent heads, and you didn't think that was a cause for concern?
What's
Okay, that
Valdis's
was the
passive
wrong one.
insight?
Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Ignore that.
What's Valdis's passive insight? 15? Both Valdis and Lucille. This guy's lying.
He's lying? Oh. I look at Valdis. I'm just like, what do you want to do?
Valdis will Jacob, and he will just say, Mr. Erie, in common, Mr. Erie, you might want to get ready. And then switching quickly over to Undercommon, Valdis is going to say to the bartender, run, and he's going to throw his short sword at the Sverneflin.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay, I'm gonna do it.
Roll to attack.
Is this okay, this is dumb. Is this considered a surprise round?
I would say... roll me dexterity saving throw to just see if you can pull it off quick enough to be a surprise round.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
Because you did draw your sword earlier.
And,
Nope, not one.
the reason I said dex save is because you warned the innkeeper to run right before you made the move. Alright, but you
Yeah.
can still make an attack roll.
Okie doke. How far is it? How far is this Sverneflin?
You don't have to throw your sword, you can just stab.
Like,
Okay.
your back is to him, right?
Yeah, like he is in talking range with Lucille.
Okay.
So literally, you could just draw it out of your sleeve and slash at him, probably.
Yep,
Okay. That's a 21 to hit.
that hits. Roll damage. And you have an ally
Since
within
I-
5 feet, so sneak attack.
Oh, 8 plus 8, so 16
We're gonna
total.
kill him before we can even get answers.
You stab him in the heart, and the blade goes through, and then he just looks, and then his skull cracks open, and you see his brain. You see 4 limbs stretch around the crack in the skull, and the brain jumps out.
What the? What the fuck?
I'm gonna roll an
I-
athletics check to crush this thing.
I would say at this point we're going into initiative.
All right.
Yeah,
All right, then ignore the athletics check. I'm rolling initiative.
I did not expect you to.
17.
What happened to my natural 20s?
Alright, Alright.
Just the worst.
Damn
What to
me,
the
my
limb?
negative initiative.
Just a quick question
Okay,
to
there we
make
go.
this first. What do the limbs look like? Are they made of meat or of like the same material the brain is, or are they like?
They look meaty like a creature.
17, I said.
Yeah. I have to go in and edit it manually.
No, thank you.
What was Lucille's?
I got an 8.
Oh, so you're still before the creature, from what I can tell.
Did Valdis roll initiative?
Yeah, 9.
9? Alright, and then it is time to roll for the creature.
What about Jacob?
Jacob got a 13.
Here we go. That is, the creature gets a 4 on initiative. Oh, perfecto. Alright, so Rylek, you get the first turn.
I'ma just crush this thing. I'm just ball my fist up and bare hand crush this thing with a hammer fist.
Roll to attack. Do you rage as a bonus action?
Yes. Let me trigger that actually, and maybe re-roll to image.
Oh, there it is.
Well, you can add the damage onto it because it's rage.
Yeah. So it'll be 1 plus strength mod plus 2 for rage damage.
1 plus strength mod
Yes.
modifier.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's plus 5 right there.
So, and then what? And then your rage is plus 2, so that's 7 damage.
And I rolled an unarmed strike. I rolled to hit the unarmed strike 26. 19 plus 7.
Yep. You hit and you punch it. It is squishy.
Ew.
That's action, bonus action. Jacob's turn.
He's gonna in one, possibly one swift motion, unsheath his longsword and swing it at it.
All right, roll to attack.
That's a 15.
15 hits.
Alrighty. We'll also add in a smite to this.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Criminy.
So 2d8.
Who
So,
terrorized this fucking brain?
Alrighty, that's 15 damage plus. And then
You don't even need to roll the
2d8.
smite. You cleave this thing in half before
Yeah.
the divine energy
yeah,
even explodes
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was also gonna flip a coin and go like, alrighty, heads or tails for non-lethal, you know, because he is doing this in one fluid motion and thus is not being conscious of lethal.
So yeah, flip your coin to see if lethal or non-lethal.
Heads or tails.
I'll say tails is lethal.
It is tails.
Oh,
You just
You
cleave
blow
it
this
in
damn
half.
thing up. You cleave it in half and then blow it up with divine energy.
Everyone, the tavern goes silent, and everyone is looking at you. The innkeeper is back against the wall, completely stunned.
Lucille is probably half covered in exploded brains and is just shell shocked. And is like, well, that was gross.
As much as I feel bad about cutting the session short, I feel like that's the perfect place to end. Do you guys want to go for the last 10 minutes, or do you want to call it there?
Just call it there.
What could possibly top that?
I just helped kill a brain.
I'm so glad I got to use that creature, even if it died super quick. The surprise factor was worth it.
I was just saying that this
Like-
was boring.
Was that an intellect devour?
I mean, at this point, I mean, like part of keeping the mystery for this campaign, because your characters don't know. I cannot say.
Okay, fair.
I'd rather not know what the fuck I just crushed under my fist. Anyway,
Oh my god.
That the feeling of a surprise like that, and just getting the reaction of what just happened.
see you
Boy, I-
next week, folks, where we try to find out what the fuck just happened.
Indeed. Shit's getting real now.
We went from nah sister, you're not taking me to no secondary location to fucking Resident Evil
Yeah,
in like 2 minutes.
I said this is a cosmic horror campaign.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Thank you guys for the good session.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
For running.
You're well. Thank you, cause
Thank you. Yeah.
that was not expected.
And
I
thank
love
you,
that.
thank you for chat for tuning in. I'm going to start the raid. Yeah, see y'all next week.
I'm gonna sit down and think about that for a while.
Just a
I will-
quick question
I will
before
be
you
telling
go.
that.
Yeah.
was there any more days that Lucille was teaching Valdis Sylvan, or was it just the 5?
It's the 5, and then you are 4 days into this hex. So 9 total.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, gotta keep track of that.
Like, how many days total does he need to learn Sylvan?
30.
30.
30. Okay, so you need like 25.
20-ish. 20-ish more like this at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
See y'all. See you
Bye.
players. See you chat. I'm gonna set up a raid.
See you next week, see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
See you
Indeed.
next week for more nonsense.
Alright. Raid is being sent out to Tom Fox. Send him to love. See you, chat.
I don't know how long a raid lasts for, so I'm just here, chilling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I feel like I wanted to say something, but then I instantly forgot what I wanted to say. Yeah. Okay, yeah, right. As I kind of said, like my character, my character plan is basically the same one that he had last time. Off stream then. Yeah, sorry.